Alright, I'm back on the Nissan Versa. Just thought I'd show you a quick video on changing spark plugs on this thing. So remove the top cover. This guy right here. So it sets in there. You'll have two bolts to remove right there. And you've got these little pop things right there in those grommets. Just grab there and there and just pull straight up. Pop that dude loose. Now, this is the first time for me doing it, so I'm figuring it out as I go. But from what I can see, you're going to have to remove this tube here, which is coming off and going across the back here and connecting onto the intake manifold. I removed this little snorkel here, two clamps there and there. Pop one side, then pop the other, get it out of the way. Now there's a bunch of stuff, even some coolant lines connected to this throttle body. I'm just going to take the 4 screws out and separate it from the intake manifold so I don't have to deal with those tubes. And then I disconnected this here, and then wherever that little tube went, right here. So pulled that off there. That stuff's out of the way, and then you're going to have to get down where there's at least 8 bolts down here to remove this intake. So let's get to that point and see what we got. Alright, 4 bolts removed. That's pretty successful. Separates it from there. I just popped the tube off and around and popped the whole thing off. I'm going to have to replace my tube. It's hard as a rock, and I think it's leaking out of there, and I believe that one's leaking too. I might replace both of those. That's the one that was right here. Yeah, it's hard as a rock as well. Anyways, went ahead and pulled this piece off. This was connected here to there. Just 2 of those plastic little button tab looking guys. These guys right here. Just pop them up with a screwdriver, the little head center part, and then the other part pops out. So that, and then I removed the 2 little brackets that hold the plastic cover on here because they get in the way of your extension when you're going in there for your socket. Pop that one loose. They're on pretty tight, so you might want to get a 1/2 inch ratchet instead of a 3/8 so you can pop them easier. So I'll get those, and then it looks like we've got 1 bolt right here I'll have to pop loose and get out of there, and then we'll see if she comes loose. Alright, a couple quick notes. Pulled the reservoir up out of the way. There's a little clip on it right here. You just bend that back and then pull the reservoir straight up, and that gave you enough line. You just move it out of the way, and then the dipstick up and over, and that's so you get to the center one. There's only 5 bolts across there. So I got that one, then that one. There's this tube at the back, which I didn't see till I moved it, and then there is a mounting bolt right here as well. So you have to take this, bend that out of the way, and then yeah, the bolt right there, and there it is. Just kind of wiggle it up on out of there. Alright, let's pull the coils. Alright, so I've got another issue I'm gonna have to deal with, but we'll get back on the spark plugs. So those 2, the first one actually came apart and I had to put it back together with the connector to the spark plug, little tube. These 2, pulled them out and just full of oil. So my valve cover is obviously leaking at the seals around the spark plug channel there. This one had a little oil in it as well. So top tip though, if you don't have the right spark plug socket, which I don't because these are tiny, it's a 14 millimeter. To retrieve them, you can do it 2 ways. You can either get them loose with this and then take your socket out and then try to put that back on there and pop it on the top of the socket and then pull the spark plug out. And it's the same way putting them back. You can put them on that, give it a twist and pull it out, and then go down in there with your socket. I taped the socket just so I wouldn't lose it down in there. And I've got a little piece of, I can pull this out. Just so I could get it out, I put a little piece of tubing like gas line inside the spark plug, and it's holding it quite well. I can't seem to get it loose. But. So that's how you do that. If you run across this mess that I'm dealing with now, then you need to replace your valve cover gasket because it's just pouring oil down inside the tube. So that'll be it for this. I'm gonna go see if I can find a gasket kit for the valve cover. Yay. All right, have fun.